There is a mystery in the financial markets that most people refuse to acknowledge. It is the elephant in the room. You can take two people. Let's call them David and Sarah. You can give them the exact same trading strategy. You can give them the exact same computer setup. You can give them the exact same capital. You can even have them sit next to each other and trade the exact same asset at the exact same time. At the end of the month, David has blown his account. He is angry. He is blaming the broker. He is blaming the market manipulation. Sarah, on the other hand, is up 15%. She is calm. She is reviewing her journal. She is preparing for next month. How is this possible? The charts were the same. The rules were the same. The opportunity was the same. The only variable was the mind that pressed the button. This is the uncomfortable truth about trading. The market is not a game of strategy. It is a game of psychology masquerading as a game of strategy. Most traders spend 99% of their time looking for the holy grail indicator, thinking that if they just find the right entry signal, they will be rich. But they spend 0% of their time analyzing the thing that actually makes the decisions, their own brain. The market is a mirror. Most traders don't like what they see in the reflection. They think they are looking at candles and numbers. In reality, they are staring directly at their own greed, their own impatience, their own fear of failure, and their own need for control. That is why the mental edge is everything. It is the invisible divide. On one side, you have the 95% of traders who are reactive. They are victims of their own biology. On the other side, you have the 5% of traders who are proactive. They have mastered the internal game. Let me put it bluntly. If you do not master your mind, you will sabotage yourself before the market ever has a chance to beat you. You will cut winners early because you are scared the profit will vanish. You will hold losers too long because your ego refuses to admit you were wrong. You will revenge trade because you feel insulted by the price action. These are not strategy errors. These are character flaws. And the market charges a very high tax on character flaws. In this video, we are going to dissect the psychology of the winning trader. We are going to move beyond the cliches of discipline and patience and look at the deep structural changes you need to make in your brain to survive this game. We are going to explore why you fail and how to build the mental edge that separates the professionals from the gamblers. To understand the mental state required for trading, we have to look at professions where the stakes are life and death. We need to talk about attachment. Why do you panic when a trade goes against you? Why does your heart rate spike? Why do your palms sweat? It's because you care. You care about the money. You care about being right. You care about what the money represents: freedom, safety, status. In almost every area of life, caring is a good thing. If you care about your job, you work harder. If you care about your spouse, you love deeper. Passion is a virtue. But in trading, caring is a liability. Passion is fatal for trading. I want you to imagine a trauma surgeon in the emergency room. Patient is wheeled in. They have been in a terrible car accident. They are bleeding out. The surgeon has to act fast. He has to cut. He has to stitch. He has to make split-second decisions. Now, imagine that the patient on the table is the surgeon's own daughter. What happens to the surgeon? His hands shake. His vision blurs. He is flooded with fear. What if I make a mistake? What if she dies? I can't lose her. He cannot operate. He is paralyzed by attachment. He has to step away and let another doctor take over. The other doctor, the stranger, can operate perfectly. Is he a better doctor? No. Does he have more skill? No. He is simply detached. To him, the patient is not a loved one. The patient is a problem to be solved. He is cold. He is clinical. He is precise. He doesn't cry, he cuts. This is the mindset you must bring to the market. Most retail traders treat their capital like a family member. They love their money. They are attached to it. When they lose $100, they feel physical pain. They grieve. When they are in a drawdown, they panic like the father in the ER. The professional trader treats their capital like the surgeon treats a patient. The money is just a tool. The trade is just a procedure. If the trade dies, hit stop loss, it is tragic. but it is not personal. Time of death, 10:42 a.m. Cause of death, sudden market reversal. Next patient. This sounds cold. It sounds sociopathic. But it is the only way to function in an environment of pure uncertainty. If you attach your emotional well-being to the outcome of every single trade, you will burn out in 6 months. Your nervous system cannot handle that much trauma. You must learn operational coldness. You must separate you from the trade. You are the operator. The trade is the operation. If the operation fails, it does not mean the operator is bad. It just means the probabilities didn't align this time. How do you build this detachment? You start by accepting that losses are not failures. In school, if you get an F on a test, you failed. You didn't study enough. You are stupid. We carry this baggage into trading. A red day feels like an F. But in trading, a loss is not an F. A loss is a business expense. Think of a restaurant. The restaurant has to buy food. It has to pay for electricity. It has to pay the waiters. Does the owner cry when he pays the electric bill? Does he scream, "Why is this happening to me?" when he buys napkins? No. He knows that to make revenue, sell meals, he must incur expenses, buy ingredients. A losing trade is just the cost of buying the ingredients for the winning trades. It is the cost of goods sold COGS. When you reframe a loss from personal failure to operating expense, the emotional charge disappears. You stop trying to avoid losses, and you start trying to manage expenses. That is a CEO mindset. That is the surgeon's mindset. If detachment is the first pillar, the second is regulation. Most traders operate like thermometers. Think about what a thermometer does. It is a slave to its environment. If the room is hot, the mercury goes up. If the room is cold, the mercury goes down. It has no agency. It has no control. It simply reflects whatever is happening outside. This is the amateur trader. When the market goes up, green candles, the trader feels euphoria. He feels like a genius. He texts his friends. He thinks about buying a Lamborghini. His temperature rises. When the market goes down, red candles, the trader feels depression. He feels stupid. He hides from his family. He thinks about quitting. His temperature drops. He is whipped around by every tick of the price. His internal state is completely dependent on an external force, the market. This is a miserable way to live. And it is a disastrous way to trade. Because when you are euphoric, hot, you take stupid risks. You oversize. You get arrogant. And when you are depressed, cold, you hesitate. You miss setups. You trade out of fear. The professional trader is not a thermometer. He is a thermostat. Think about the thermostat on your wall. You set it to 72 degrees. If it's a scorching hot summer day outside, market volatility, the thermostat detects the heat, kicks on the AC, and maintains 72 degrees inside. If it's a freezing winter blizzard outside, market crash, the thermostat detects the cold, kicks on the heater, and maintains 72 degrees inside. It does not care what the weather is doing. It dictates its own environment. It maintains homeostasis. This is the mental edge. The ability to remain at 72 degrees regardless of whether you just made $10,000 or lost $5,000. Why is this so important? Because euphoria is just as dangerous as fear. Most people warn you about fear. They tell you not to panic. But fewer people warn you about the winning streak high. When you win 3 trades in a row, your brain floods with dopamine. You feel invincible. You feel like you have solved the market. This is when you are most vulnerable. Because in this state of high heat, you will double your position size. You will take a trade that doesn't meet your rules because you have a feeling. And that is usually the trade that wipes out all your previous profits. The thermostat trader feels the euphoria rising and says, "Warning, temperature is getting too high. Cool down." He might walk away from the desk. He might stop trading for the day. He regulates himself back to 72 degrees. Conversely, when he takes a bad loss, he feels the cold grip of fear. "I need to win this back." The thermostat kicks in. "Warning, temperature is dropping. Heat up." He reminds himself of his long-term edge. He reviews his plan. He stabilizes his mood before taking the next trade. The market is a storm. It is chaotic, violent, and unpredictable. If you try to match the market's energy, you will be destroyed. You must be the calm center of the storm. You cannot control the weather, the price. You can only control the temperature in your house, your mind. If you find yourself screaming at the screen, cheering for a candle or praying for a reversal, you have become a thermometer. You have given your power away to a line on a screen. Take it back. Set your dial. Be the thermostat. We have talked about detachment. We have talked about regulation. Now we need to talk about the mechanism of decision-making itself. We need to enter the internal courtroom. Every time you are in a trade that starts to go wrong, a trial begins in your mind. You enter a trade. The price moves against you. It is approaching your stop loss. Suddenly, a voice speaks up. It is the voice of your inner defense attorney, your ego and your emotions. The defense attorney is persuasive. He is emotional. He pleads with you. Please don't close this trade. Look, it's just a wick. It's definitely going to reverse. If you close it now, you'll lock in the loss. Just give it a little more room. Just move the stop loss down 10 pips. Have mercy. This voice is incredibly loud. It uses fear, you'll lose money, and hope, it will come back. To manipulate you. Most traders are a jury. They listen to this emotional plea. They feel bad for the trade. They don't want to be mean. They get swayed by the drama. So they vote to acquit the trade. They let it live. They move the stop loss. And the trade, like a criminal released on bail, goes on to commit a much worse crime. It destroys your account. The professional trader is not a jury. He is the judge. The judge sits high on the bench. He is wearing black robes. He is stern. He does not care about feelings. He cares about only one thing, the law. The law is your trading plan. The law says, if price touches 1.0500, the trade is invalidated. Exit immediately. The defense attorney screams, but it will come back. The judge looks at the law. He looks at the chart. He bangs the gavel. Objection overruled. The rule was violated. Execution ordered. He kills the trade instantly. No hesitation. No remorse. No, maybe next time. He just follows the code. This is the hardest skill in trading. It is the ability to override your own biological desire for hope. Hope is a beautiful thing in life. Hope keeps us alive in dark times. But in trading, hope is a poison. I hope it comes back is the most expensive sentence in the English language. The judge does not hope. The judge executes. How do you install this judge in your mind? You have to realize that every time you listen to the defense attorney, your emotions. You are weakening the legal system of your mind. You are creating anarchy. If you break your rules once, your brain learns that rules are optional. The next time it will be easier to break them. And easier. Until you have no rules left. But every time you act as the judge, every time you take a loss simply because the plan said so, even when it hurt, you strengthen the law. You build self-trust. You know that when the pressure is on, you will do the right thing. There is a profound peace that comes from being the judge. You don't have to decide what to do. The decision was already made when you wrote the law. You just have to enforce it. It removes the agonizing, should I? Shouldn't I? Debate that drains your energy. The law is the law. Follow it and you survive. Break it and you face the penalty. The final component of the mental edge is how you handle fear. Specifically, the fear of volatility. Humans are evolved to run away from danger. If you hear a loud noise, you flinch. If you see a fire, you run the other way. This is the flight response. In trading, danger looks like a fast-moving red candle. It looks like a market crash. It looks like high volatility. When the market starts to move fast, the amateur trader panics. His instinct screams, run away, close everything, go to cash. It's too scary. He freezes. Or he sells at the absolute bottom because he just wants the pain to stop. The professional trader has a different instinct. He is the firefighter. When a fire alarm goes off in a building, thousands of people run out. One group of people runs in. Are firefighters crazy? Do they have a death wish? No. They run toward the fire because they have protocols. They have gear. They have training. They know exactly how to handle the heat. They know how to breathe in the smoke. They know the structural integrity of the building. Where the amateur sees chaos and death, the firefighter sees a problem to be managed. In trading, volatility is the fire. Volatility scares the tourists. But volatility is the only thing that pays the trader. If price doesn't move, you can't make money. You need the fire. The mental edge is the ability to look at a terrifying market move and say, I have a protocol for this. If the market crashes 5%, I will look for support at level X. If the VIX spikes to 40, I will reduce my position size by half and widen my stops. This is your fire gear. Protects you from getting burned. The amateur gets burned because he runs into the fire naked. No plan. High leverage. The pro puts on his suit, risk management, and walks into the flames to find the opportunity. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth happens in the fire. If you are trading and your heart rate is always low, and you are always relaxed and nothing ever scares you, you might just be coasting. You might be playing too small, or you might be avoiding the hard trades. The edge is found in the moments where the crowd is panicking. When everyone is selling, who is buying? The professional. When everyone is euphoric, who is selling? The professional. He is the one walking against the stampede. He can do this not because he is brave, but because he is prepared. He has rehearsed the disaster scenarios in his head 1,000 times. What if the Fed raises rates? What if a war starts? What if my broker crashes? He has a plan for all of it. So when it happens, he doesn't freeze. He executes. The firefighter doesn't panic when he sees flames. He just turns on the hose. We have covered the surgeon, the thermostat, the judge, and the firefighter. What do all of these archetypes have in common? Control. Not control over the outside world. The surgeon can't stop the bleeding by magic, the firefighter can't unburn the building. But control over themselves. This is the final destination of the trader's journey. It is the identity shift. You have to stop seeing yourself as a gambler trying to get lucky. A gambler needs the external world to align with his desires to be happy. He needs the red 7 to hit. He needs the horse to win. He is a beggar. You must become a risk manager. A risk manager doesn't need luck. He manages probability. He manages exposure. He manages himself. Trading is an infinite game. Sports are finite games. There is a clock. At the end of 90 minutes, the game ends. Someone wins. Someone loses. Trading never ends. The market will be open tomorrow, and next year, and in 50 years. The goal is not to win today. The goal is to stay in the game. If you try to win too big today, gambler mindset, you risk getting knocked out of the game forever. If you focus on survival and consistency, risk manager mindset, you get to keep playing. And if you keep playing with an edge, eventually the math guarantees you will get rich. The mental edge is simply the discipline to play the infinite game when everyone else is playing the finite game. It is the patience to get rich slowly, rather than going broke fast. The market is going to strip you naked. It is going to take your money. It is going to crush your ego. It is going to laugh at your predictions. It will expose every insecurity you have. If you have daddy issues, the market will find them. If you have greed issues, the market will exploit them. But if you accept the lesson, the market will rebuild you. It will forge you into something harder, something sharper. It will teach you to be cool like the surgeon, regulated like the thermostat, just like the judge, and brave like the firefighter. It will teach you that you cannot control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. And that, my friends, is the ultimate freedom. That is the edge. Now go earn it.